conquered life, Spirit lets them have a little taste of it. So when it's ripped away from them, the depth that they sink to is as low as it can possibly be. What do we have at the solar plexus, please, Spirit? Too many cards. What do we have at the solar plexus? Seven of Wands, Leo energy in reverse at the solar plexus. So whoever this is, whoever they are, worked overtime to try and make you feel very overwhelmed and give up on your path. This individual, these people caused a lot of disruptions in your life. And again, they thought they got away with it. I just heard this is going to be a 1-2 punch. The rug gets pulled out from underneath them, and at the same time, the scales tip in your favor, and now you are on the top of the wheel. You are moved to the front of the line, so to speak. And not only does this happen in the blink of an eye, it feels as though it has always been that way. Because what this truly represents is a timeline shift, and that everything else that has taken place up until this very moment almost becomes like a fading dream. These individuals are left with nothing but memories of what they used to be or what they could have been. These individuals seemingly had more opportunities than most. Again, this is how it unfolds. Because Spirit wants to see what they do with that, right? You ever notice that? People who seemingly don't deserve what they have are able to access all of these opportunities. These individuals seemingly had more opportunities than most. Again, this is how it unfolds. Because Spirit wants to see what they do with that, right? You ever notice that? People who seemingly don't deserve what they have are able to access all of these opportunities and blessings. It's almost like you can't make sense of it. Like, how could this be? But if you start to understand how the greater mechanics of the universe works, it makes perfect sense. It's like Spirit saying to them, okay, let's see what you can do here. Here you go. And of course, they fumble it. So then Spirit moves them out of the way, and Spirit positions you. However, that shows up in your reality. It's not that you were never deserving of it, but things had to unfold in a way to where they were given the opportunity. And now, as Spirit puts you in that position, there's a clear representation of how each one of you handled this side by side. This can also be likened to God preparing a table for you in front of your enemies. The divine is showing off with you, using you as the greater lesson here. You are the true keeper of the crown, metaphorically speaking. You are the true heir to the throne. And though we speak in metaphor, these are all examples to allow you to understand how the universe allows these situations to unfold. We witness the corrupt nature of these individuals in those positions of power. So there's no mistaking where their corruption ends and your anointing begins. What do we have in the heart, please, Spirit? Ten of Pentacles, right at the heart. Where your anointing begins is right on target. Spirit wants you to stay very focused on your path right now. Don't worry about what's taking place in any of these other people's lives. Yes, it's important for you to understand how the universe is working behind the scenes, which is why this message is coming through. But you mustn't let this distract you from the task that you have been assigned with accomplishing in this life cycle. I also just heard that Spirit is trying to make sure that you maintain motivation, right? You know, when you are on a path like yours that is seeing you working in tandem with the divine, it can become very tiring because you are doing things the right way. You're essentially taking the path that most don't choose to take, right? Which is just another way of saying that you are building things correctly. You're building them in a way that gives it a sense of staying power, right? You're building on a solid foundation with integrity. By the time you actually arrive at your destination, these individuals would have built up a whole life and lost it all, and now here you are, just arriving on the scene. Truly is an energy of selling your soul, right? But this Ten of Pentacles is telling us that this is your divine inheritance. This was promised to you by God, by Source, by the divine, if you follow this path according to plan. If you have the faith to push through, to weather the storms, even when it feels like all hope has been lost. See, this is all a part of preparing you to become the person you need to be in order to be the rightful heir to this spiritual fortune, to this blessing, however that shows up in your life. Now, I speak in energy, so inside this third density, this could just be success showing up in some capacity. After years of hard work, spinning your wheels and not getting anywhere, all of a sudden, everything just shifts. Spirit hadn't forgotten about you. Spirit just needed to make sure that you had what it takes. So for all of you who are feeling tired and beat down by your path right now, you need to know that you're going to look out soon and see the horizon line getting closer and closer to you. It will just appear overnight. But you need to have faith. You need to keep pushing. Spirit is leading you through transformation right now. And then right on the bottom of the deck, we have the world. Okay, so there is completion on the horizon, like I was saying. But Nine of Wands, okay, this is following what I'm saying, because the Nine of Wands, this is an energy of persisting forward despite any sort of setbacks, and it also represents a test of faith, right? It's like Spirit is testing your faith right now. And I feel that this situation with this person, these people, is all a part of it. Spirit is showing you firsthand, based on what is unfolding in these individuals' lives, how this actually goes down. It's like Spirit has to get them out of the way first. But there's an order by which this needs to happen. What do we have at the throat, please? Eight of Wands. Okay, so now we're starting to see the energy really picking up here, okay? It feels like one of these situations, again, like I mentioned, where from one day to the next, things just shift. That metaphorical light at the end of the tunnel is right there. It's like you can reach out and grab it. See, this sort of tipping of the scales, the rebalancing, right? Lifting you up and then dropping them back down, right? Another way of speaking about you now being on the top of the wheel, or you being brought to the front of the line. This is a slow grinding process. And it's very difficult a lot of times for us to see that this is unfolding. You may see little hints of it, right? You may look on at somebody who caused a lot of pain and suffering in your life, and something's a little off there, but seemingly it looks like everything is still relatively stable in their life, right? But it's almost like they're not right in the head. It's almost like they're a little off. I'm hearing that Spirit is going for their mentals and then going for their foundation. So they're completely incapacitated to be able to do anything about it. In other words, Spirit is completely disarming them. What do we have in the third eye, please, Spirit? Ten of Wands. Wow. Just followed what I said. Okay, so it's like here they are. Now everything is falling apart and they don't even know how to put it back together, right? There's also an emphasis here on these individuals feeling what they put you through. Now, it's not always going to look exactly the same. It typically never is. It's just a version of it, right? But I'm also hearing something here about these individuals didn't even realize that Spirit was building them up in order to drop them from the top. Tower energy. And it's interesting because here they are, right? Thinking that, you know, they're on top of the world. There's that explosion back there. Right there. They're walking into it. See, this really gives that energy of you being the final warning. And they chose their path based on their treatment towards you. And this is also representing them thinking about all of this. Like, how could this happen? Just yesterday, I was on top of the world. What did I do to deserve this? And that right there is a perfect representation of what it looks like when the scales tip. Ten of Pentacles, the wealthiest card in the tarot. That's you now on top of the wheel. And them having squandered this by way of their treatment towards you. And right there, Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so this is really representing the wheel turning now, right? You being on top of the wheel, and then they're showing up as the devil. It's like they're underneath the wheel. It's rolling over them now, right? It's like, here's the divine, here's the underworld, so to speak, and everything is being, well, these are all the receipts, right, that Spirit has kept